dear colleagues, research scholars, dear friends and students. On behalf of organizing committee, it's my privilege to start the webinar on information literacy and the role of libraries. Today's webinar has been organized on the occasion of National Library Week. Indian Library Association declared 14th to 20th November as National Library Week all over the India. Since 1968, various programs are organized to let the public know about the valuable role of the library. The objective of Library Week celebration is to boost and promote the reading habits among the users. During National Library Week, we are reminded that libraries are democratic establishments that offer everyone free and equal access to knowledge. Libraries remain a beacon of accessibility in the era of digital information, ensuring that knowledge is not a privilege but a right for everyone. It is a celebration of the countless authors, thinkers, and dreamers whose works line the shelves waiting to be discovered by curious eyes. When you are reading a book, you are establishing a connection with the best brain. Now the time is for the inauguration. I request our principal sir, chief patron of this webinar, to start the webinar officially. Sir, please.
Good evening, esteemed members of the faculty, respected students, and distinguished guests, as like a speaker. I am honored to come before you today as the principal of Moyna College, extending a warm welcome to each and every one of you participating in this significant webinar on information literacy and the role of librarian. Today's event is a testament of our commitment to fostering knowledge and understanding in the ever-evolving landscape of information. We are privileged to have as our esteemed speaker Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Saha, an accomplished associate professor from the Department of Library and Information Science at Vidyasagar University. Her expertise in the field is well acknowledged, and we eagerly anticipate the valuable insights she will share with us today. I would like to express my gratitude to the Moyna College Central Library for taking the initiative to organize this webinar. And I commend the collaborative efforts of the Internal Quality Assurance Cell and its coordinator, Dr. Sumit Manna. Their dedication to enhancing the academic experience at Moyna College is truly commendable. Our librarian, Dr. Supriya Mollik, plays a pivotal role in ensuring that our students and faculty have access to a rich repository of knowledge. I appreciate her efforts in making the library a vibrant and resourceful hub for learning. Likewise, I extend my thanks to Dr. Abhijit Singh, who is our departmental head of Department of Mathematics and our technical associate, to the technological aspects of our academic endeavors. I also welcome to the faculty's members, our enthusiastic students who are the heart and soul of our institutions. As we delve into the proceedings of this webinar, let us keep in mind the crucial role that information literacy plays in shaping not only academic success but also in fostering critical thinking, responsible citizenship, and lifelong learning. In an era marked by an abundance of information, the role of the role of the librarian becomes increasingly vital as they guide us through the vast era of knowledge. I encourage each one of you to actively participate, ask questions, and engage in discussion that will undoubtedly broaden our perspectives. Let us make the most of this opportunity to enhance our understanding of information literacy and how it shapes our educational journey. Once again, a warm welcome to Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Saha and to all participants. May this webinar be a source of inspiration and enlightenment for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your encouraging and valuable speech. Now I request IQAC coordinator, Dr. Sumit Manda sir, to deliver the welcome address of this webinar. Sir, please.
Good evening. It's a great privilege for me to welcome Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Sahu, Associate Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, Vidyasagar University, on behalf of IQAC, Moyna College, for providing her valuable time to talk on such a relevant topic, information, literacy, and the role of library in today's webinar. I welcome our Honorable Principal Sir, Dr. Manda sir, for his glorious presence in this webinar. I would like to welcome all the teachers, students, and participants present in this online forum. Welcome to all. As we all know that information literacy is the ability to identify, evaluate, and use information effectively. In our increasingly digital and information-rich world, information literacy has become a crucial skill for individuals to navigate information available. It involves not only identifying information, but also critically evaluating its quality and relevance, as well as using it ethically. Library plays a vital role in promoting information literacy. Library science and dissemination of information literacy skill through resource management. We know that instrument and training, digital literacy, and some other ways are there, like Prussian collection of data, reference servicing, promoting ethical use of the data, and so on. They help individuals navigate the wealth of resources, both physical and digital way, available in the library. Here we will discuss some of the important way to which this information is disseminated and distributed by the librarians to the students or to the society. So it is, I think, today's discussion, hope it will be a meaningful way of synthesize the topic in a meaningful way to enlighten more way to opportunity to the retrieve data for the benefit of humanities and overall for the society. So hope this program, this online forum, this online discussion will get a grand success. So welcome to all and welcome our respected speaker for today. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your influential message. We are charmed with the speech. Now, time to start with the lecture by our guest speaker, Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Sahu ma'am. Now, ma'am is serving as an associate professor in the Department of Library and Information Science, Vidyasagar University. Her research field includes library science education and research, community information service, bibliometrics and scientometrics, etc. She has published several articles in different reputed international and national journals. She is the recipient of Young Information Scientist Award from Society for Information Science, New Delhi in 2010, and also Best Article Award from KIT Deemed to be University, Bhubaneswar in 2018, and many more. This is all about brief introduction of our guest speaker. So please, ma'am, you can start now.
Thank you so much, Shupriya, and indeed a very good evening to all of you. Respected Principal Sir, Dr. Dilip Kumar Panda, IQAC Coordinator Sir, Professor Shumit Manna, and all the esteemed faculty members of Moyna College and other colleges present over here and the universities, and all the distinguished guests over here, and my student, Dr. Shupriya Mullik. First of all, I must thank you all for inviting me to be a speaker of this evening in a very pertinent topic, which is information literacy and the role of libraries. Indeed, we are into the information era, we all know. And without wasting any time, I want to start my presentation, as time is too short, and Shupriya already informed me that they have another program, I think from 7:30 p.m. onwards. So without wasting any further time, I would like to start my presentation. Is it visible? Please confirm.
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. Yes. So the topic of today, that is information literacy and the role of the libraries. As our IQAC coordinator sir and our principal sir has already mentioned the meaning of information literacy, so I would not go into very great details. Only to mention over here is that that is information literacy is actually the set of skills that refers to the ability of an individual to locate, evaluate, use, and effectively communicate information from the various sources. We know that we have ample of sources today in the society, and without our ability to locate them, to evaluate them, to use them, and to effectively communicate information from these various sources, we cannot call ourselves to be literate enough, right? So from this point of view, to be information literate means all the skills that we need to locate from the location to the retrieval to the understanding of the information. And with the globalization in the trend and increased access to technology, people worldwide need to be information literate. Mostly that is what people around the world need nowadays in this information era is to be information literate, because we know we have to access technology at each and every field of our lives. Whether we are at our homes, we are outside, we are in the market, we are in the bank, we are in the railway station, wherever we are, we need technology. We need to access the technology, and that's why it is the need of the hour to be information literate, we can say. And it is today's digital age. As information literacy, it is a very crucial in today's digital age, where information is abundant but not always reliable or accurate. And this is another challenge, nowadays, because we know that we are facing, or we are seeing, or we are coming across so many of information. We are accessing the social media, we are having the access of so many things in and around us, in the network, actually internet, by means of internet and all, we have access to several things. But whether it is accurate or not, that is a very important or pertinent thing and pertinent question, that whether that information is at all, is it accurate or not accurate, whether it is a misinformation or disinformation. So to be information literate, it means that we should be aware that which is the correct information, which is the right information, which is the pertinent information for us, and not that we should access, we should be aware, or we should not go with that of the false information or the disinformation. Now, Brisk 2002, he mentions that it is the combination of four elements, basically. It is connection, cosmopolitanism, communication, and commodification. So these are the four factors Brisk he mentioned in one of his papers. I think some issues are there when I have to change my slide, and again it is, I think some problems arose. Just a minute. Okay. Now can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now the connection, what is a connection? It is the increased amount of interaction and the transactions of the goods, services, and information from country to country. So, anybody else? I think you have unmuted yourself. You could please mute yourself. The voice is echoing. Thank you. So, what is the connection means? It means the increased amount of interaction and transaction of the goods, services, and information from country to country. Basically, we know that connection, it is a global connection nowadays. That is, if we are sitting in India, we are sitting anywhere else, any place of the world, we need to be connected to the other places, to the other parts of the globe. And cosmopolitanism means, it means that increased number of the centers of power and influence worldwide. So it is the number that is increasing, that is increased number of the centers of the power and the influence. It is worldwide. And communication means that is technological advances that have greatly increased the international business ventures, economic opportunities, and the transaction of the different ideas and the values. Without communicating, we know that information is a communicable thing. Without communicating the information, we can say that whether information is not, if it is not communicated, it is just being obsolete. Information, unless and until we communicate the information, it is not of any use. So that means it is having the communicable property. And commodification means the expansion of the world markets and the increased opportunities to people worldwide. Now, what are the key aspects of being information literate? So you can see over here from this diagram itself that finding information, to find out the information, evaluate the information, using the information, ethical use of the information, communicating this information, and the lifelong learning. These are all the key aspects of being an information literate. So if we call a person an information literate, he or she is information literate. So he must have this ability of finding the information, evaluating that information, using that information. He must use that information again ethically. So this is also very important factor, that without the use of ethical information, that is, if we are not using the information ethically, that means if we are just using somebody else's information or intellectual thought contents, and we are not acknowledging that person, so that is also a great crime nowadays, and communicating that information as well as the lifelong learning. So all these aspects, when any person or an individual, we can say that if that person is having all these properties, then we can say that he or she is an information literate person. Again, there are some issues, I think, when I'm trying to change my slide, actually, then it is being struck. Anyways, I have to share it again. Okay. So now, what are the advantages of being information literate? First advantage is that one who is information literate, he can make effective decision making. He can participate in effective decision making. It enables someone who is information literate to access, evaluate, and analyze the information critically. As he or she can access, evaluate and analyze the information critically, and this skills empowers himself or herself to make informed decisions based on the reliable and the relevant information, reducing the chances of being misled or making poor choices. So this is a very effective thing, that when we are information literate, then what is happening? We can take our own decisions, when we are knowing that what is the right information, what is the right thing that we have to do. If we are able to evaluate that information, then definitely we have the right choice of taking the right decision. Now, second factor is that it is enhancing the research skills. Enhancing of the research skills means that is information literacy. It equips oneself with the ability to locate and retrieve the information efficiently. And you can navigate the various sources such as the databases, libraries, and the online platforms effectively, saving time and effort when conducting research or seeking answers to your questions. So this is enhancing the research skills also. When one is information literate, then definitely one can locate and retrieve the information very effectively, efficiently also. So this is another factor that is, it is enhancing. It is one of the advantages. Another advantage that one who is information literate, he or she can enhance the research skills himself. Next thing is that is the critical thinking. Critical thinking is another factor that information literacy fosters the critical thinking skills by encouraging one to question, evaluate, and analyze the information from the multiple perspectives. So that is also one of the things. And one can become more discerning about the quality, credibility, and biases that is present in the different sources, enabling one to form the well-rounded and thoughtful opinions. So this is another factor. When one is information literate, or one is having this ability of information literacy, or one is information literate, we can say, then he or she has the ability of critical thinking also. He or she has that power of critical thinking, and it fosters the critical thinking skills by encouraging one to question. They can question, they can evaluate, they can analyze the information from the multiple perspectives. Another advantage is the efficient problem solving. When with the information literacy, one can identify and access the relevant resources to solve the problems effectively, and one can learn how to identify the patterns, compare and contrast the different ideas, and synthesize the information to develop the creative and the innovative solutions. So this is another thing, that is efficient problem solving is another of the one of the other factors that one can also have. Now the next one is the lifelong learning. Now for the lifelong learning process, we can say that if information literacy is supporting the lifelong learning by instilling a sense of curiosity and the skills needed to acquire the new knowledge. So one person who is information literate, he or she has a sense of curiosity. It arises within himself or herself that they are asking the questions as they are information literate. So they have the ability to ask questions. They have the sense of curiosity. They can learn new things. They want to learn something new, and the skills they needed to acquire the new knowledge. They become adept at adapting to the new technologies, learning environments, and emerging information formats, making oneself more adaptable in an ever-evolving world. So this is also one of the advantages of being information literate. One can go with a lifelong learning process, which is a very advantageous thing that we can say, and they can adapt to the new technologies also. Also, they can learn as and when what is the need of the hour. Actually, they can go with the present world, and they can learn new things. They can find out the new information formats, whatever is available in the world. Next advantage is that the ethical information use, what I was talking of, that information literacy, it promotes the ethical practices regarding the information use, such as the proper citation, copyright compliance, and avoiding the plagiarism. So plagiarism, I think all of you are familiar with this term, plagiarism. You know that now there are several cases that is coming up, basically due to this plagiarism issues, when somebody is not acknowledging others' works properly. So information literacy, when we are information literate, when we know that what is the correct use, how or which information when we are taking and when we are using it, how to use it correctly. So that is a very important thing. If we want to use somebody's information, suppose we are going into some research work, suppose we are going into something new, or we are writing up a manuscript, we are preparing a manuscript, and we do not know that what is the actual way of acknowledging someone or how to acknowledge. If we do not acknowledge, if we simply just copy from there or copy the ideas from their papers and simply use it in our as our own, then definitely it is an act of plagiarism. So this is another thing that information literacy teaches us, that ethical practices regarding the information use, such as the proper citation, copyright compliance, and avoiding the plagiarism. And it ensures that you respect the intellectual property rights and contribute to the integrity of the knowledge dissemination. So it is also there that one will respect the intellectual property rights, IPR, which is in short we call it as IPR, and they will contribute to the integrity of the knowledge dissemination in that way. Another advantage is the empowerment and the empathy. Being information literate empowers you to navigate the complex issues, understand the diverse perspectives, and engage in the constructive conversations. So this is another positive thing of information literacy, that it helps us to solve the complex problems. It helps us to learn or to discuss about the diverse perspectives, and it also engages us in the constructive conversations. One can make meaningful contributions to discussions, challenge the misinformation, and foster the empathy by seeking reliable information and understanding the different viewpoints. So this is also very much helpful, that when we are making which information literacy actually makes us. It helps us to make the meaningful contributions to the discussions. It helps us to challenge the misinformation. When we are able to evaluate the information, when we can understand that what is the right information, we can evaluate that information properly, then definitely we can find out that which is the misinformation. Because nowadays you can find out so many of fake messages, fake information through the different social media platforms, etc. So it is a very essential thing now to identify which is the misinformation or the disinformation. So this information literacy will help one to challenge this misinformation, and it will foster the empathy by seeking the reliable information and understanding the different viewpoints. Another advantage is that of the professional advancement. That is, information literacy is highly valued in the workplace. So this is another thing that the information literacy will handle, and it is the professional advancement which we are seeing, that through this means of the information literacy, it is highly valued in the workplace, and it equips you with the skills that are essential for so many professions, such as the research, data analysis, critical thinking, and effective communication. So this is one of the factors, again, that information literacy, it is a very valuable thing, in the workplace also. And it equips us with the skills that are essential for many professions, such as research, such as the data analysis part, or any types of the critical thinking and the effective communication, etc. Being information literate can enhance your professional competence and open up opportunities for the career growth. So this is another thing that the information literacy can help us, that it can enhance the professional competence and it can open up the opportunities for the career growth also. Because the person who is literate, informationally literate, he or she can deliver the messages to the recipients. Definitely there is one, for transmission of any type of the message, what we require is one source, one message, and another is the recipient. So if the person who is the source is an information literate person, he or she can only spread the right information to the recipient part. So that is also one of the advantages of the information literacies. Now, how the information literacy enhances the continuous learning and the adaptability, as I was discussing here already, that how we are thinking or we are considering this information literacy, and we are seeing that it is enhancing this continuous learning and adaptability. So this information literacy, as I have already mentioned, it helps us to access the information resources. It helps in differentiating the fact from the opinion. What is the fact? What is the actual fact? And what is the opinion? It can help us to differentiate between the two. Third is that it is critical evaluation of the information. So it helps in the critical evaluation of the information. It helps in learning the new skills and the technologies. It also helps in learning the new skills and the technologies. Definitely one person who is information literate, he or she can learn new skills. He can develop his skills. Definitely he can develop new skills, and the technology is also part he can be able to learn in that sense. And engaging in the professional networks, embracing the lifelong learning mindset, and critical thinking and problem solving. All these factors actually information literacy enhances, and it is the factors which helps in the continuous learning and the adaptability. Now, as most of you are college librarians or faculty members or college students here, so information literacy actually it is one of the important parts which helps in interview preparation also, because beyond this colleges, when you are going for this when you are undertaking now the higher education part, so after this you all will try to face the interviews, or your teachers will help you to prepare yourselves for the interviews. So first of all, what the information literacy skills helps us, or how it helps us, first thing is that it helps in researching the company, that what company you are applying for. It helps to find out the reliable and the relevant information about the company you are interviewing with. By understanding the company's history, values, culture, products, or the services, recent news, and the competitors, you can tailor your responses during the interview to align with the company's goals and demonstrate your interest. Basically, if you know that what is the company all about, what type of values, culture, and the products and the services the company is delivering, then definitely you can be a good candidate for the company. If you want to just appear before the interview board and you know about all the things about the company, then definitely it will help you during the interview process, because there will be several questions regarding the company, from the company, and what all you can contribute to the company, so that you can have. Second thing is that it is understanding the industry. So being well informed about the industry in which the company operates showcases your knowledge and the passion. And information literacy skills enable you to explore the industry trends, challenges, and emerging technologies. So it will help one to understand the industry, and it will also help to enable you to explore the industry trend, the challenges, and the emerging technologies. This knowledge allows you to discuss the industry specific topics during the interview, demonstrating that you understand the context in which the company operates. So that is another advantage when you are operating, or where you are understanding, when you are understanding the industry. So that will be a great advantage for you when you are facing the interview. Third thing is that you can analyze the job descriptions. When you are information literate, it will help you to dissect the job descriptions to understand the key responsibility. What is your responsibility? When you are undergoing a certain, or you are upcoming or facing a certain interview, you may be asked that what are your key responsibilities? What will be your key responsibilities? Do you know about your key responsibilities? So that also you can foster, or you can help, that can be helped when you are information literate, or you know that what are the key responsibilities, what are the required qualifications, and the desired skills. By critically evaluating the job description, you can identify the most relevant experiences, skills, and the achievements from your background that align with the position. This understanding will allow you to articulate your suitability for the role during the interview. Next is what? You can prepare some thoughtful questions. Once you are facing the interview, before facing the interview, you can prepare yourself some thoughtful questions which will help you to gather information about the company and the role, allowing you to formulate thoughtful and the specific questions to ask the interviewer. Asking intelligent questions demonstrates your engagement and interest in the opportunity, while also providing an opportunity to gather additional information that can further inform your decision making. So when you are prepared, and you are prepared for the interview, you can prepare yourselves with the questions also. And this asking these intelligent questions demonstrates your engagement and interest in the opportunity. When the interviewer is asking you some questions, if you have something in mind, if you have certain questions, some intelligent questions, and you put it before the interviewer, then they will also know that how interested you are into the job, or why you will be a better suitable, or you are suitable for that position, particular position. So that will be also a helpful process. Next one is that the demonstrating credibility and credibility. So through information literacy skills, you can verify and cross-reference the information you find from the different sources. So this is possible, that when you are information literate, you can verify from the different sources. One source is not enough to be verified. If you do not find an authentic source, suppose you don't find any authentic source and you are simply collecting it from some website that is an unknown website. Whether that information is correct or not, whether that information is right or not, you can only verify through from the cross references. That is, you can go through the references part and you can verify from the actual documents from where the material has been prepared. So this is also a very helpful task, and information literacy skill can help you demonstrate the credibility. So this ensures that the information you present during the interview is accurate and reliable, which enhances your credibility as a candidate. Now the employers value candidates who can back up their claims and demonstrate a strong research-oriented approach. Next is the adapting to the interview context. Information literacy skills allow you to adapt your interview preparation based on the company's industry, size, and the specific role you are applying for. You can use the gathered information to tailor your responses and showcase your understanding of the company's needs and how you can contribute to its success. So it is another thing. You can adapt to the interview context definitely when you are information literate, and you can know about the company beforehand, and definitely you can gather all the information which will help you to respond during the interview. Now, what is the importance of ethical information use? As I was mentioning that ethical information use, it is another thing that we should use the information ethically. Whatever information we are using, the first thing is that is the trust and the credibility. Ethical information use builds trust and credibility among the individuals, organizations, and the society as a whole. And when information is handled with integrity, people are more likely to rely on and trust the sources providing the information. This is particularly important in the fields such as journalism, academia, research, and professional services. Everywhere, what we need, if we want to be knowledgeable, what we need is that we want some trust, we want some credibility of that particular information. You know that gathering of misinformation or disinformation is gathering equals to gathering of no information at all. So this trust and credibility and ethical information use is a very important thing that among the individuals. Next thing is that to respect for privacy and consent. Ethical information use respects the privacy of individuals and ensures that information is obtained and shared with the proper consent. So this is another thing, that whether information, ethical information, whatever you are using, when we are using the ethical information, it respects the privacy of the individuals, and it also ensures that the information is obtained and shared with the proper consent. So when we are using some information, we should take the consent. Consent in the sense that we should acknowledge that person from whom we are taking that information. So it is a crucial to consider privacy rights of individuals when collecting, storing, and disseminating the information, especially sensitive personal data. And respecting the privacy fosters that trust and protects the individuals from harm or misuse of their personal information. So when we are respecting the privacy, we are respecting somebody's privacy. So definitely it will help protect that individual from harm or misuse of the personal information. So that is another thing that we have to remember every time, that we should use the ethical information ethically. Another thing is that avoiding the misinformation and disinformation. This is another importance of the ethical information, that ethical information use helps to combat the misinformation and disinformation in another way, which can have some harmful consequences on the individuals and the society. It can also avoid in harming and biasness. So that is another thing that the ethical information can have. It can use, ethical information use takes into account the potential harm that can arise from the misuse or the misinterpretation of the information. So it seeks to avoid the propagation of biased or discriminatory content. So this is another thing, that when we are using the information ethically, then definitely we will not be biased also. That we will not take some information because it is of our concern, or somebody, we will give the biasness and take some information which is basically misinformation. That we will not do. So this is another advantage. Now, another thing of importance, another importance of the ethical information use is intellectual integrity and the academic honesty. Now, in the academic world, in the academia, actually, ethical information use upholds the intellectual integrity and the academic honesty also. It involves properly citing the sources, giving credit to the original authors, and avoiding the plagiarism. So, this is another thing which helps in the long run. And definitely the ethical researchers and the scholars, they contribute, they acknowledge the contributors, and they always acknowledge the contributions of the others and ensure that their work is being based on the sound evidence and accurate information. So this is another thing. If information, it is misinformation or disinformation, as it is equal to no information at all. So therefore, we must use this information ethically, definitely. Empowering the informed decision making. Ethical information use empowers individuals and the organizations to make well-informed decisions by providing the accurate and unbiased information. Ethical users enables people to assess situations objectively, evaluate alternatives, and make choices that align with their values and the goals. So it helps in empowering take us the informed decisions. And social responsibility and accountability. This is another thing that ethical information use encompasses. It involves recognizing the potential impact of information on society and taking the responsibility for how it is used and shared. So that is another helpful thing that the ethical information helps us to do, that we are accountable for the information which we are disseminating. Now, what are the factors for the proliferation of misinformation in the digital age? Basically, I'm talking about the misinformation. So, there are many factors. There are social media platforms, ease of the content creation and sharing. We know about the social media platforms. All of us are very much familiar about the different social media platforms like Facebook, WhatsApp, then etc., Instagram, etc., etc. Now, ease of content sharing. There are so many opportunities for sharing our contents. We are creating the blogs, we are creating the podcasts, videocasts. So there are so many options of content creation. Filter bubbles and echo chambers. So there are no proper bubbles or filters chambers. So we are actually creating the information, but nobody is there to monitor sometimes. So that is also another cause for the misinformation to be disseminated. Now, economic incentives. There are sometimes initiatives from some, you can say the hooligans and all that. They are creating the nonsenses or nuisance. Actually, they are paying some things. They are paying the incentives also to disseminate the false information. Another is that the political manipulation. That is political parties. So sometimes they are also thinking that if they spread something, some false information, it may be of advantage to them. So that is another thing that we are facing in the society. And the lack of the media literacy. Many people do not know what to access, how to access, what is the media speaking of, and etc. So that lack of media literacy is another cause for the proliferation of the misinformation, and also the rapid news cycles. Now the news channels, that nowadays the news channels, they are focusing that who will publish the news faster, more faster, who will give the for the TRPs and all. So that these TRPs are they are spreading or they are collecting the news, so they may collect some misinformation from some places, and that is also another cause for this misinformation to be spread. Now, I will not go into the details as time is very short now. So these are some of the initiatives that has been taken by the government already. One very important initiative, information literacy initiative, that is National Knowledge Commission of India. They have established this in June 2005. And they established the knowledge-oriented paradigm of development to address the digital divide in India, basically. You know that the digital divide, this term, that is, and during this COVID period also, we have faced a lot of digital divide issue. That is some of the remote places, as I was, when we were about to take the online classes and all, some of our students complained that, ma'am, also, we are not having proper internet connections. So how can we join the online classes? So this is a problem, in the society, that we are still facing, that at some places, at remote locations, remote villages, there is no proper internet connection. So this was addressed, and government has taken the initiatives, that is, they have taken the initiative to establish a knowledge-oriented paradigm for of development and to address the digital divide, but still it is existing. And its focus areas were access to knowledge, knowledge concepts, knowledge creation, knowledge application, and the knowledge services. In addition to this, some other initiatives I have mentioned here, as I could not describe all of them. Right to information here, as time is very short now. So these are some of the other initiatives that the government has taken for the information literacy. Now, let us come to the point that what the initiatives, the programs that can be implemented by the libraries to promote the information literacy. So, information literacy workshops. Libraries, they often organize the workshops and the training sessions to teach the patrons critical information literacy skills. And these information literacy workshops, they cover topics such as the evaluating the sources, understanding the plagiarism, and conducting the effective research. I would request all my librarian friends over here to please conduct these sessions at your own libraries, so that the people or whoever are your users, they can access and they can be information literate to have a well understanding of information literacy skills. Second point is the online tutorials and the guides. Many libraries create and host the online tutorials and the guides that patrons can access remotely. And these resources cover a range of information literacy topics, offering guidance on evaluating online information and using the library databases effectively. When you are teaching something or taking the online classes or online tutorials, and you can just guide the users that how to use the resources. All of us nowadays in the libraries, we have many databases, no? We have many good databases, online resources, which can be well accessed, both in open access as well as in closed access. If you have this tutorials, then definitely your users also, they will be guided that how to access those resources. Third one is that the collaboration with the educational institutions. Libraries, they frequently collaborate with the schools, colleges, and the universities to integrate the information literacy into the curriculum. And librarians work with the educators to help the coursework, develop the coursework that emphasizes the critical thinking, research skills, and the proper citation practices. And again, the one-to-one research assistance. Librarians offer the personalized research assistance also to library users, helping them to navigate the databases, locate reliable sources, and refine their research questions. So this is a very important task the librarians are doing. Librarians are the jack of all trades, you can say. So they are offering the personalized research assistance to the library users. They also help in navigating the databases. So this is one of the, they are promoting, by this way, they are promoting the information literacy skills that we can see. Now the library instruction sessions. Libraries, they can conduct the instruction sessions for the classes and the community groups by providing the guidance on how to use the library resources effectively. Another aspect is the creation of the LibGuides, which are online guides that compile the resources on the specific topics or the disciplines. And these guides can include the tips on evaluating the sources, recommended databases, and other tools to support information literacy. Next one is the promotion of information open access resources. As we know that we are already, most of the libraries, they are having some fund crunch. So promotion of these open access resources, which are freely accessible, that can be very much helpful to the users also, as well as to the libraries. They can contribute to the more equitable and the open information landscape. Next is the community outreach programs. They can engage in the community outreach programs to reach to the diverse audiences, right from the different immigrants to the job seekers. Everyone can access these resources. Next one is the partnerships with the digital literacy initiatives. So that is also one of the things to address broader challenges associated with navigating the digital landscape. And these partnerships may involve the joint programs, resources, or the events focused on both digital and the information literacy. Now, incorporation of the technology. These libraries, they can leverage the technology to enhance the information literacy efforts. It includes online quizzes, interactive learning modules, and multimedia resources. So that is also a very important task for the librarians to do. And last but not the least is the book displays and the exhibitions, which the librarians are performing mostly, that they highlight the critical thinking, media literacy, and the information literacy as well. So these are some tips for the college librarians that they can do to enhance information literacy skills. I think most of you are doing all this, that is in user education or orientation programs for the college student community, conducting the book exhibitions, conducting important national and international events or the days, human library or book talks. You can organize these talks, that is, you can invite a author to your library to have some talk about something or a book. Such program for the books, awareness or the orientation programs on the e-resources programs like Enlist, all of you are having, NDLI awareness programs, that is National Digital Library Initiatives, conduct the guest lectures, career and the guidance programs. You can have the new arrivals, you can have the journal content mailing, send information through the social media also, like WhatsApp, Facebook, etc. Create the library blogs or websites, write essays or quiz programs, like that is held these competitions of essay writing or the quiz programs. You can organize these programs, and you can form these NDLI clubs and internship programs. So these are all the opportunities that can enhance the information literacy skills. So from the literatures that I have gone through during this period, I have found that some of the impacts of the information literacy programs that has been found from the different studies, that increases the reading habits, that increases the library use, that increases or access to the updated information, that helps in the awareness of the available resources, and that helps in overcoming the fear of accessing the library materials. So these are all the impacts of the information literacy programs that you can see or you can find. And that is a very pathetic situation, we can say, about the Indian libraries here. So the challenges that the librarians are facing for the provision of the information literacy programs, that has been also observed from the different literatures that I have gone through during my preparation stage actually. So there are some many places they are facing the technological barriers. We know what is the problems that we are facing nowadays about from the technological part. Many of the places, they don't have proper internet connections, they don't have the proper systems, etc. So lack of funding is another problem that we are facing. Constant technological changes is another issue. Suppose we are using an OS and sudden one night, then again within a fortnight it is being changed. So diverse audience needs. Audience needs are so much diverse because there is so much of information available. So people are also asking for different types of needs. So they have the different needs that also we have to face. And the limited time and the resources, that is another challenge that the librarians have to face. So another thing, that is the resistance to the change. Many of them think people don't want to change themselves. They are very much familiar, that is, they think that whatever they are using is all right, but they don't want to change, they don't want to adapt to the changes. This is another problem or challenge for the librarians and the faculty members as well. And misinformation and disinformation, as I've already mentioned. Evaluation of the program effectiveness, whether it is effective or not, the program, that is also very much pertinent issue here. And lack of standardized curriculum. If there is no proper standard curriculum, then how to impact, what to impact, that is a problem. Limited integration into the formal education is also there. Sometimes we are not integrating into the formal things or formal education, we are not integrating properly. And the over reliance on the search engines. Suppose we have a certain reliance on some search engines, we are very much accustomed with the search engine, we don't want to change ourselves. So that is also a very much challenging problem for the librarians to face. But apart from the challenges, I must add over here that we must actually try as a librarian, as my librarian friends are here, so I must say that we must try to provide the information literacy, to give the information literacy training to the users of the library, and then only all the library resources will be properly utilized. So within a very short time, I had to finish. And I was very fast, I think. Thank you all. I think I am well in my time. I have finished. So thank you all. Thank you, the respected organizers, the organizing team members, and all the participants present over here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an important lecture in the field of information literacy and the role of libraries. We are enriched with your nice presentation and get to know more about the libraries and librarians, how they can play an important role in educating people for the use of effective and efficient information, and to teach them more about generating information skill at all levels of education. Now it's time for discussion. If you have any queries, you can discuss with ma'am. I think there is no queries from anyone. So thank you, ma'am, again. An important announcement for the participants are that feedback link will be provided to mail to every registered candidate. After filling the feedback form, you will get the certificate.
Hello, ma'am. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I would like to say something. At the remaining portion of the lecture, ma'am told, and she has also given some tips regarding the librarians. I do hope you will must carry out all the tips that have been given by her. Okay?
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. You must carry out all the tips that has been given by her.
Okay, sir. Now we are at the end of this webinar. Hope you have a wonderful session throughout the webinar. Now the time to say vote of thanks. I convey my heartfelt thanks to Mr. Abhijit Singh, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, Moyna College, sir, for your complete involvement not only throughout this webinar, but right from the beginning of the webinar. It would have never been possible to execute the webinar without your kind technical support. My sincere thanks to Professor Dr. Dilip Kumar Panda sir, the chief patron of this webinar and principal of Moyna College, for his kind support for organizing today's webinar, and of course for the successful completion of this webinar. I wish to express my sincere gratitude and thanks to Dr. Sumit Manna, IQAC coordinator and HOD of Department of Botany, for his valuable welcoming address, which was truly instrumental. We are rich also. I also convey my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Nivedita Bhattacharya Sahu Madam, Associate Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, Vidyasagar University. Madam, we are really pleased that you have gladly accepted our invitation as a speaker of this webinar and benefited us by providing the thought-provoking lecture in the field of information literacy and the role of libraries. We are very much thankful to all of library staff, all the teaching and non-teaching staff of Moyna College and other institutions who continuously watching this webinar. I must thank our Students' Union as well. Without all of you, the webinar can never be grand success. Last but not the least, we are very much thankful to our esteemed participants in this webinar. With the permission of the chair, sir, can I wind up the webinar?
Yes.
Okay, thank you all of you. I conclude the webinar. Have a nice time. Good night.